Vice President Harris is told to go home when she visits Guatemala a day after the Guatamalan president, Alejandro Giammattei, blames President Biden for the border crisis. And AOC's Abuela needs a new roof because of former President Trump. Hey guys, my name is Jason Wesley. This is another episode of Not a Podcast. So rather than go to the US-Mexico border, Vice President Kamala Harris crosses the border and goes to Guatemala to speak with Guatemalan President Alejandro Giammattei about the border crisis. Now this comes one day after Guatemalan President blamed President Biden and his administration for the border crisis.
The
message changed too. We're going to reunite families, and we're going to reunite children. The very next day, the Coyotes were here organizing groups of children to take them to the United States. We asked the United States government to send more of a clear message to prevent more people from leaving.
He also said that VP Harris and he agree on the problem, but don't agree on the solution, and Kamala Harris is blaming climate change as one of the main reasons.
We're not on the same side of the coin. We are in agreement in the what, which is something. We're not in agreement in the how.
Okay. Harris cites a poor economy, violence fueled by the drug trade, and climate change as leading push factors.
President Giammattei also said to stop lumping Guatemalans in with everybody else. He calls it insulting.
Giammattei also wants Americans to stop grouping his country with neighboring El Salvador and Honduras, and what many call the Northern Triangle. Is that a fair description?
No, es un insulto.
It's an insult. Why?
There's a mistake being made in the United States. They've always looked at us like their backyard. That's the mistake. We're the front yard, and if the front yard is bad, how will the house be? If you all take care of your front yard, how will your house be?
Remember just a few short months ago when White House Press Secretary Jen Circleback Psaki said it wasn't a crisis, but it was a circumstance.
Children presenting at our border who are fleeing violence, who are fleeing prosecution, who are fleeing terrible situations is not a crisis. We feel that it is our responsibility to humanely approach this circumstance and make sure they are treated and put in conditions that are safe.
And when pressed, Joe Biden's border czar wouldn't call it a crisis either.
Would you describe what's happening on the border as a crisis, given how these numbers are spiking so much week by week?
You know, I think I'm not trying to be cute here, but I think the fact of the matter is we have to do what we do regardless of what anybody calls the situation. And the fact is we are all focused on improving the situation, on changing to a more humane and efficient system, and whatever you call it wouldn't change what we're doing.
Then she said the surge was because of hope.
Do you think it's a coincidence that as soon as Trump and his immigration policy were on the way out, and Biden and his stated policy were on the way in, this historic surge at the border started?
We've seen surges before. Surges tend to respond to hope. And there was a significant hope for a more humane policy after 4 years of, pent-up demand.
But now the administration finally acknowledges that there is a crisis at the border, and Vice President Harris goes to Guatemala to meet with the Guatemalan president, and she's not exactly welcomed with open arms by a group of Guatemalan protesters. Guatemala's prez blames Biden for border crisis as protesters tell Kamala Harris Trump won.
Con la relación buena.
Necesita que es empleo y es el Celaya.
It's okay. Ouch. I mean, I thought it was bad when I saw her unfavorability ratings in America, but that was bad. And if you're curious, according to Statista, favorability rating of Vice President Kamala Harris in the United States as of May 2021, her very unfavorable rating is 36% and her somewhat unfavorable rating is 13%. That's 49% of Americans find Kamala Harris unfavorable on some level. And it's not like she's been in the news or anything like that. She hasn't even been to the U.S. border, and even though Biden put her in charge of it.
Just quickly put a button.
Okay.
Do you have any plans to visit the border?
At some point, we are going to the border. We've been to the border. So this whole thing about the border, we've been to the border. We've been to the border.
You haven't been to the border.
And I haven't been to Europe.
She thought she could get away with saying we've been to the border like men do when their wives are pregnant.
My wife and I are pregnant. We're having a baby very soon as well.
Oh, you both are having a baby.
Yeah.
You and your wife are pregnant.
Yeah.
Then she says that she's trying to get Microsoft to help with connectedness and banking in the country.
Part of what we're doing is I've asked Microsoft to partner with us on what we can do to get people access to banking systems through technology and basically help them with their digital connectiveness.
Wait. Bill Gates, Microsoft? I'm not even going to get into vaccines and population control, but anyway, on to the next story. So, AOC's Abuela needs a new roof because of former President Trump for some reason. So, this story is sad, but it's also hilarious. So, if you laugh, I'm not going to be mad at you. Now, AOC, she might get upset with you because she gets upset even if you ask to have a conversation or a debate. This is a video invitation back in 2018 from the Daily Wire's Ben Shapiro.
Hi, I really wanted to make just a direct appeal to Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, the future of the Democratic Party, according to Tom Perez, head of the DNC. Ms. Ocasio-Cortez, I'm really excited that you've been elevated to that position, and I would love to have a real conversation with you about the issues. You've noted you think Republicans are afraid to debate you or talk to you or discuss the issues with you. Not only am I eager to discuss the issues with you, I'm willing to offer $10,000 to your campaign today for you to come on our Sunday special, and we can have an hour-long conversation about all the topics under the sun, really probe your belief system. And frankly, if you want to raise charity and we'll do it as a debate, we can do that too. However you want to do it, I am more than willing to talk to you. I would love to have this conversation. So let's make this happen. Let's make America a more civil and interesting place. Let's do this thing.
So AOC responds on Twitter, just like catcalling, I don't owe a response to unsolicited requests from men with bad intentions. And also, like catcalling, for some reason, they feel entitled to one. To which Ben responded, discussion and debate are not bad intentions. Slandering someone as a sexist catcaller without reason or evidence does demonstrate cowardice and bad intent, however. Now, for those who don't know what a catcall is, according to Merriam-Webster, it's a loud, sexual, suggestive call or comment directed at someone publicly, as on the street. Now here's Cenk Uygur with the Young Turks explaining the differences between men and women when they get catcalled.
You're gonna need 3 bodyguards with you.
No, I'm not gonna do it alone. But like, it would be cool to be with like a big group of friends, right?
Well,
we're like sitting at a cafe, we're having coffee, and then when hot guys walk by, we'll, hey, yo, whoa, man, look, that looking big.
Okay, all right. You don't have to do that social experiment. I'll give you the results of that social experiment right now. Okay, every single guy is gonna stop, come back, and be like, hey, what's up? What's up? How you all doing? Yeah, no, I'm fairly large. What's up? Okay, you see, women bothered, some of them bothered, some of them not bothered, but they keep walking, right?
Yeah.
Guys aren't gonna walk, they're gonna stop in their tracks, they'll come back and be like, I'm right here.
Yeah.
Okay, what do you need? Because I'm reporting for duty.
Yeah, money.
But back to the original story. So AOC crafts this tweet about her abuela's home. Now, abuela means grandmother in English. Just over a week ago, my abuela fell ill. I went to Puerto Rico to see her, my first time in a year plus because of COVID. This is her home. Hurricane Maria relief hasn't arrived. Trump blocked relief money for Puerto Rico. People are being forced to flee ancestral homes and developers are taking them. Now, one would think since she's a sitting congresswoman making $174,000 a year, driving a Tesla, having 2 apartments that she's paying for, one being a luxury apartment where she argued that the amenities like the climbing wall, several pools, racquetball courts, a golf simulator, a rooftop dog park, a steam room, multiple cycling studios, 2 types of massage rooms, and charging ports for electric vehicles should be a human right available to everyone. So after she crafts this tweet, Matt Walsh with the Daily Wire started a GoFundMe to send money to her grandmother to help her get her roof fixed. Here's Matt speaking with Tucker Carlson about it.
She claimed that that her mother's been living in or her grandmother rather has been living in this dilapidated shack, I guess for 4 years since the hurricane. And she's a wealthy single woman who has 2 apartments and a Tesla that she just recently bought, apparently. She, for whatever reason, refused to help her own grandmother. And so we said, all right, you know what, we'll get together and we'll raise the money.
So then after 10 hours and over $100,000 raised, the GoFundMe was just shut down. Here's Matt Walsh explaining what happened.
Now, it said on the page, and this is what confused me, it said that donations had been paused, quote, by the organizer. But I thought I was the organizer, and I didn't pause them, so that seems sort of strange. Then a short time later, I received this email from the GoFundMe Trust and Safety team. This is what I read. This is what it said. I'll read it to you. Pay close attention to the language they use here. Dear Matt, we are in touch with the beneficiary's family, and they have made clear that they will not be accepting the funds raised. When a beneficiary doesn't want to accept the funds that have been raised on their behalf, it is standard practice to turn off donations, then refund all donors. We recommend posting an update on the fundraiser to let your donors know that they will be fully refunded within the next couple of days. They'll also receive an automatic message from GoFundMe informing them of their refund. They will get 100% of their donation back 3 to 7 business days after the refunds are issued. Please let us know if you have any questions. And they did issue the refunds. I put $499 into the campaign to kick things off, which happens to be the monthly lease payment for a Tesla. You know, we just chose that amount randomly. And I got the refund yesterday. I didn't want it.
But what's even more wild is that this headline emerged. Right-wing blogger launches GoFundMe for AOC's Puerto Rico grandmother in latest personal attack. That's hilarious. Okay, so the first thing is Matt Walsh is a conservative, but they like to throw in right-wing out there because they want to trigger you into thinking alt-right or white supremacist or Nazi. So the first thing you think of is this Matt Walsh guy must be a white supremacist or an alt-right leader, even though the alt-right leader, Richard Spencer, well-known white supremacist, supported Joe Biden in the 2020 election. The headline says that it was the latest personal attack. So he raised $100,000 and that's considered a personal attack? Listen, I'm waiting on somebody to personally attack me with a $100,000 check. I'm just saying.